Let me introduce your host, Fino and Sasha, the legit king.
It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes. I feel like Mysterio, I ain't no joke. Titles, I held them both, call me Chris Jericho. Time to cash in my money in the bank. Just like Sheamus when he beat Roman Reigns. Meet me in the cage, like Undertaker when he met Kane. I don't play games, I'm no Triple H. The crowd screaming, you rock like my name's Dwayne. The crowd screaming, you suck like your Kurt Angle. In the ring, I'm the boss just like Sasha Banks. So you'll get whipped like the intro from Sable. King of my stable, don't matter the label. Smackdown or Raw, you get put through a table. Pushed off a ladder or choked with a cable. Throw me a chair, I'ma give him a facial. It's the start of the show, time to walk through the smoke. When I enter the ring, I jump over the ropes.
What's up, guys, and welcome back. This here, ladies and gentlemen, is the reunion, the reunited duo from the previous show. I know you guys all remember the Daddy Fino show, and now we are back. It is me, your boy, Just Fino. I have changed my name. I am now Just Fino. And of course, I have my co-host here, the lovely Sasha, the legit king. Sasha, say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? It's been a long time. We're back.
We are back.
I have not changed my name, by the way. So
yeah, you can't. It's a legendary name, Sasha, the legit king.
Yeah,
Woo! I love that. I miss saying that. Oh man. I miss it. Woo! The mistress of legitness. Yes, she is here. Oh man, guys. Well, just welcome back, everybody. And as you can tell, there's a lot of new things going on with the duo of me and Sasha. We're under a whole brand new name, brand new podcast. That title of the podcast is now Reignsssss. And I love that name. Sasha came up with it, by the way. So, got to give major props to Sasha with that name, because Reignsssss, I think that's fire.
Thank you.
That is absolutely awesome. And what this podcast is, what makes this podcast different from our past iteration of the Daddy Fino show is, I feel like now it's time that we bring out the positivity, the new dayism of professional wrestling. We want to make sure that there's too many negative stuff in the world of professional wrestling. We both know that. You got the tribalisms, the AEWs versus the WWE, or I would say another brand, but there's really nothing else that really matters. But anyway, there's too many sides. We need to bring it together. And I think that's what me and Sasha do. We're coming back to bring professional wrestling back into one place of just straight positive vibes. Am I saying that right, Sasha?
Yeah, I mean, wrestling has, with the introduction of social media, it's definitely kind of taken a turn. And sometimes it can be kind of hard to enjoy the product. And not everybody, but when a certain portion of the audience always has something negative to say. And we just want to, kind of like you said, give wrestling its flowers. Because, there is a reason why the wrestling business is doing what it is right now. There is a reason why we're doing this podcast, because we love wrestling. And sometimes we just have to be reminded of that and why we love it. So that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And so many things to love about professional wrestling right now. Right now we're recording and there's 2 shows, not just one, 2 shows on right now. You know, we got NXT Battleground playing. We got AEW Double or Nothing playing. Like it's we haven't had that since the 90s.
Exactly.
You know, it's just great. Yesterday we had
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. I was gonna say Crown Jewel. I always think Crown Jewel, but Night of Champions. You know, and it's just a lot of great things. I think the night before that, TNA had their thing. So it's just a lot of great wrestling. Every day we now have wrestling. It seems like, you know, AEW has another show coming, and just a lot of great things, positive things for the wrestling business for us to enjoy. You know, whether you like one company and you don't, it doesn't matter. It's just wrestling in general is overall in a great place, and I'm just really happy. I can't get enough of wrestling. You know, I watch both programs. I watch TNA once in a while. You know, I'll watch some highlights. I'll watch some indie shows and stuff like that. I've been to indie shows. So it's just really great. It's just really great to be a wrestling fan. And I think that, you know, it's just great. I don't know another word. Fantastic, amazing. It's so many great things going on. And that's what we're going to do with this show. We're just going to try to uplift the wrestling community and just talk about some great things in wrestling. So,
like you said, a lot of things have changed. Because think about the last time we did a show until right now, like how much has changed. It's like when we went off, it's like the whole wrestling world is kind of turned upside down.
Yeah, it was like, was it a coincidence that we stopped and then the wrestling world just went crazy? It kind of like, at one point, it felt like it was tearing apart.
It's just like we left, and then like Vince retired, Triple H took over, they sold the company. It's so much stuff happened. CM Punk, the scrum. It was like, jeez.
Oh, the scrum.
So it's just like now we're in the aftermath. Everything's kind of settled, and now this is like the new frontier, and it's great. Like you said, it's really moving. And I know a lot of people have thoughts about, like, especially in WWE with the storytelling, specifically with the bloodline and everything like that. But I think it's a welcome thing to bring back that long-term storytelling. I love that. So
I love it too until you said the bloodline. Oh man, my heart is breaking right now.
Well, I mean, right now, still the ones. It might just be one or two left, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it might just be one. And you know, first off, you know, speaking of giving flowers, we need to congratulate our tribal chief real quick.
Oh,
I mean, 1,001 days as
it didn't
the
even take long.
undisputed.
7 minutes into the show, it didn't take long.
I'm just saying, we gotta give. If we're gonna start the show with giving flowers, we gotta give it to our tribal chief, the undisputed WWE Universal World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, Roman Reigns.
If you're new to our show, then
what a run!
Get used to this.
What a run!
Get used to this.
It is absolutely fantastic what he's doing. The whole storyline is amazing, and it just keeps growing and growing. It grew last night. I mean, oh my god, I'm just my heart is breaking at the same time, but as a fan of just wrestling, it's great. But as a fan of the bloodline, it just hurts. It hurts. Oh man.
Whatever will you do without the bloodline?
I don't know. I mean, hey, I'm an LWO.
I was going to say that the LWO's around. You might want to get in line.
I am. I got both shirts. I got my Bad Bunny shirt. I have the regular LWO shirt, the Puerto Rican version of it. Like, I got both, so I'm LWO. That's my second team. You know, and if anything, I'll join my boy Dominic if I have to. But
I was gonna say I'm more of a Judgment Day girl myself.
Yeah, I know you are. You and Damien, I know. I think we remember Damien Priest and you and your love for him and everything.
Actually, the audience might not be aware of my my appreciation for Mr. Priest. But we'll talk about that in another show.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll get his flower. I'm sure we'll talk about it this episode because
Yeah, you will.
we got a great topic for today, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But it's like you said, Sasha. The last time we talked and did an episode and all that, since then, a lot of crazy things have transpired in the world of professional wrestling. And I'm not going to go down the list or anything like that. But I do, the people haven't heard at least your point of view of, is there any like specific thing that you wanted to just bring up while we have the opportunity? Is there any like pinpointing a section that you just didn't get to comment on and you want to just, give your point of view of?
I guess I would just have to say just Triple H taking over. Like, just because, if you've been a wrestling fan for the last 20 odd years, like we have, there was like peaks and valleys with Triple H. It was like everybody hated him, and then it was like, oh, okay, that respect. And then it was like he was Papa H and everybody was just raring for him to take over. And then one random day in July, it just happened. And I couldn't imagine. I'm not saying like everything has been perfect, but it's also not to the degree where I feel the need to complain about it, because if you think about it, how long had Vince been in charge? How long had things been going a certain way? I think for what he's done has been incredible. Like I said, there are some things that need improvement, but it takes time. Like you're just not gonna. It's not like he took like a month off and just said, "Okay, no wrestling for a month. Let's restart." It was like you're taking over the ship while it's, on its course. It's been going a certain way for so long, and you just have so many things going on. And like I said, business has been great. Like, I'm excited again. Like, PLEs, like, I don't care what's going on. Like, it feels like can't miss TV again in certain ways. Like, it feels different. It feels a little looser. I know there was that worry with Vince coming back, because I was a little scared too, I'm not gonna lie. But no, man, and you can tell, like, just how people have been given that opportunity to flourish. Look at Dominic Mysterio. Like, we just talked about him. Like, look at what that was. Just to how long that they kept that story going with him and Ray. And for it to culminate the way he did, in the creativity, like their match, and just how things flow, the Bad Bunny getting involved, and it kind of just offsetting into Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. Like, it just feels refreshing again. It feels exciting, and I'm really excited about that. And like I said, I think that was like my big thing when he took over. It was kind of like, okay, it feels good again. It feels good. So,
I gotta comment on the Dominic thing, because I think Dominic might be the perfect example of it. Obviously you can point to the bloodline, but the bloodline was going on before Trips really took over. So Dom is really like the perfect example, because you see where he started, and now, I mean, you can argue. I can make the argument he's the number one heel in the world. I mean,
yeah, he is. And that, like, you couldn't see that, like, when it first happened. But I think that's the genius in the new regime. It's kind of like, the time where in the past they would start something, and if it didn't get over immediately, it would just be whoosh. But now, right, like, it's taking time. Because when he first started with Judgment Day, he looked kind of out of place. But then it just kind of gave time. Like, things were put in place. I think that was the right call for him. And look what it's grown to. He seems so much more confident. He always looked a little, like, I want to say unsure, but a little timid before. But now he looks completely confident out there. And I love that for him. And I think that's something that you can kind of look back to the Black and Gold brand for. If anything else, you can tell that Triple H had confidence in his performers, and that propelled them to flourish. Whereas it kind of seemed a little more like intimidation beforehand. He has that confidence in them, and I think that shows. And I like I said, I really love that for them. So that was my big thing.
Let's go ahead and give Dom his flowers, his credit, because, like you said, he's definitely matured, and now he's growing into that. I think he can be a future main eventer. And just carries this heat with him. So yeah, we got to give Dom his flowers. Got to give Triple H, of course, Papa H, his flowers for what he's done. I mean, I can't remember the last bad pay-per-view they've had, or PLE, I'm sorry, that they've had. It's been really great. It's been a really, really great run for Triple H. And I'm just really excited for the future and what they're building to. You can see, they're trying to build stars other than the top guys. I mean, another man we got to give props to is Seth freaking Rollins. Our first ever world heavyweight new WWE world heavyweight champion with the beautiful belt, by the way. Love that belt.
And he won it on his birthday. That was nice.
Oh, I didn't know it was his birthday. Okay.
It was his birthday.
Oh, well, hey, gotta give him props for that, because I didn't even know it was his birthday. I like that he's growing outside of the business as well. He's going to be in the new Captain America movie, which I didn't know that until I saw a screenshot of it. It was like, oh, wow. Okay. So,
it was a Tribal Chief's birthday a couple days ago, too. I think they're like 2 days.
Oh,
their birthday.
Okay.
I figured that'd be like a national holiday for you. So,
yeah, well, no, that I did celebrate it. I wore my Roman Reigns shirt that day. And everyone was like, they had to acknowledge me because, I'm a Uso. My name on Facebook is my last name. I put Uso, and it's been like that since basically the bloodline began.
He's not even lying, folks. This is a real thing.
Yeah, I had to change the name. I mean, I'm an honorary member. I'm an actual honorary member, unlike that pathetic Sami Zayn, who I love too, by the way. Sami Zayn doing his thing. We'll talk about Sammy in just a few minutes too. But yeah, just for me too, I wanted to mention one other thing, and Rhea Ripley, I think, also needs to get love too, because she's becoming an even bigger star with Judgment Day. I mean, she is what she's doing. She's not only elevating herself, but she's also elevating Dom. So, that I just love how everyone in that group just seems to be happy, and they love working with each other. And that's what you want in a team, because it shows on the screen. We can see that. So I got to give love to Rhea Ripley as well. Congratulations on her title win at Mania in a great match with Charlotte.
Oof, that was a banger.
Yes, it was. I'm still mad at Mr. John Cann for not giving that 5 stars, but it's okay. I still love you, John. But other than that, it's all good. It's just been great wrestling, man. It really has. It's so great. But let's start with let's tell the people what the topic today is going to be, Sasha, because I think this is a really great topic. First topic for our first episode of Ring Champs. Go ahead and let them know what the topic is, Sasha.
Today we're talking about location. If you have been watching, which obviously, hopefully you have, wrestling in the last year, you've noticed that they've definitely been expanding their horizons. I mean, obviously, especially with WWE, it's no secret they've been really trying to tap into the international market, but it's really just blown up the last couple of years, especially the last couple of months. You had they went was it Clash of the Castle in yep, and then
in Wales,
yes, in Cardiff, Wales, and then of course we had I mean, they go to Canada regularly, but they had Elimination Chamber in Montreal, and then last month there was the big PLE in Puerto Rico Backlash, and then yesterday,
Bendito!
yes, we will get to Benito in a minute.
Yeah.
And last night, well, yesterday, depends on where you are time wise, they went back to the, was it Jeddah, Saudi Arabia?
Yep.
And that was actually, I'm not going to lie to you, that was the first full PLE from Saudi that I've ever watched. Because before I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about all this. It was kind of weird. But then I was like, I don't know. I guess I was like, Sami Zayn, like, you know what? It's okay for Sammy. I'll give it a shot. It's like,
Right.
it's all right. It's like, Sammy, okay, all right. Sammy's gonna go out. I'll give it a shot. But no, and in talking about location, like I said, they've done international shows before, but if you look at Clash at the Castle, I cannot talk tonight. You had Drew McIntyre. You know, that was a huge deal. Everybody thought it was going to be his time. Obviously not, since we're in the midst of day 1001 of Roman's title reign. We had, Sammy going home for Montreal. We had Benito and Damian and Zelina. And then last night we had Mustafa and Sammy. And now I think they're doing Money in the Bank in London, I believe July 1st. Our first season, one of our most memorable shows was the representation episode, where we talked about, like Bianca Belair and at the time Sasha Banks, who's now Mercedes Moné. Another thing that has changed since we've left.
Yeah.
And just how meaningful that was, for me, as being a woman of color, to see that, never thinking that I'd ever see something like that happen. And now looking at these events that are happening, you have such a diverse roster that's getting to represent where they come from and the pride. And you see how incredible these crowds are, how excited they are. And you're seeing the reach. I know we've been talking about giving wrestling its flowers, but I mean, look no further than these crowds. Like, they're in it. People from all walks of life, especially in like the world we're in now, where there's so much, dissension, so much division. If you don't think a certain way, if you don't look a certain way, if you don't act a certain way, people want to cancel you. To think people are coming together in these areas, all walks of life, just for wrestling. It's incredible, So,
No, I definitely agree. I mean, it's actually pretty amazing how I feel like the world has just grown to love wrestling more and more now. And it definitely helps. I mean, it kind of hurts in a way too, because it's like they haven't been in these places in a while. But it helps that when they finally return, so like for example, Puerto Rico, they hadn't had a pay-per-view or PLE there since what was it? Was it 2005? I think they said
2005 or 2006. I'd have to check.
And it's crazy. You could feel that they hadn't been there in so long, because what a great crowd. The way they just reacted to everything. I mean, I don't think there's been a better crowd this year.
They were my favorite.
They're definitely my favorite as well. The way they just show so much love to everybody. Like it was not a wrestler there that did not get any love. It was just so special, and I teared up during the Zelina moment. Zelina crying in the ring, it was that got me. That definitely got me. And then obviously when Bad Bunny came out to Chambea, which one of his biggest songs, that just shocked the world, and having all the fans sing along to it, I mean, that's one of the best entrances I think now of all time, because of just that. Like, just the whole crowd response and just everyone going crazy and just showing so much love to these wrestlers. You know, man, location has definitely matters. It really does, and it really does feel special for those individuals who are from those countries. So, you know, when it was McIntyre in the main event in Wales, and everyone was just at the edge of their seat for every pinfall, for every hit. Like it didn't matter what it was going on. You know, it was just very, very special. And I'm just so happy for them, man. I can't wait for all the upcoming events. You know, you mentioned London for Money in the Bank. I believe they're doing an Australia show next year. So that's going to feel, you know, I can already know that's going to feel special for Rhea. For who else is there's someone else that's Australian that I can't think of right now.
Bronson Reed.
You know, even Indy Hartwell, I believe she's Australian as well. You know, and she just got her main roster, you know, jump. So maybe by then she'll be a name in the main roster. We'll see, you know, what they do with her. But, you know, that's got to be a special moment. You could feel the chills. You know, I thought The Rock was in the room. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just the way they were reacting. It was like if The Rock or Austin was there or something. Like, they treated them like megastars. And I feel like that's such a great thing for these wrestlers and for us as well. It just brings a crazy fan base, a crazy audience, makes the show. It can make the worst shows average, or it can make the average shows great. Because it wasn't like there was great wrestling, you know, in the Puerto Rican show. It wasn't like the greatest matches of all time. But it felt like such a great event just because the crowd made everything so much better. And got to give them props. You know, especially your boy Damien for what he did for Bad Bunny in that match. I mean, that uplifted him into, I think, you know, I think I read reports that they're looking at him like a future main eventer.
As they should.
Which, yes, I agree with that. You know, he has definitely improved not only on the mic, but as his in-ring work and character work is just truly amazing. So I really love that they did that. And I feel so happy for those guys, man. It just makes wrestling so much better. I want to say is what you said did you say that Puerto Rico was your favorite one so far from all the last few out of country events? Was the Backlash?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did like Cardiff too. I did enjoy Cardiff.
Okay.
But first of all, I had never heard, was it Chembe? I'd never heard that song before. Like, I did not, like, I knew Bad Bunny, you know, was a musician, but I probably couldn't tell you a Bad Bunny song. Maybe Booker T, maybe. And I don't even know how the song, I just know the name of the song. But I may have seen that clip like at least 20 times since then. And I immediately like got that song because I thought it was so cool. I'm just singing it back to him, and then to see the reaction when Carlito came back, and then like Savio Vega, like it was just, they were just into it, man. Like that whole energy, like I wish that I could have been there. Like I may or may not have Googled how much for a plane ticket to Puerto Rico. I may or may not have done that, but
it's actually pretty cheap.
I know. So,
pretty cheap, I would say.
Mr. Legit King, if you're listening, our anniversary is coming up, my guy. So
Puerto Rico, I will tell you, you will love it. You will absolutely love the island. It is so. The food is amazing. The people are amazing. Everything about it is awesome. As a half Puerto Rican myself, I gotta tell you, I'm not being biased. It's amazing.
Aren't you cool?
Yes, I know. I get that from Carlito, you know, my brethren right there.
It does make sense. Okay.
Well, look, I gotta say too, I think the Backlash Puerto Rico show, you know, it was awesome. It really was my favorite too, just because They were so. It really felt. You know what it felt like? Honestly, like it felt like the Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
And I know this was the show. Oh, is it? Yeah, it was a show after Mania, basically.
Mhm.
But it really felt. It had that WrestleMania vibe, like,
Yep.
and that's really special. It really, really uplifted the show. Just trying to think. Also, let me ask you this: what place would you want them to go to next that you think can get similar vibes?
I mean, obviously, I think they do well now. That's kind of hard because, I mean, what they've already done shows in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I know they were talking about going to India. That might be pretty
That would be cool.
huge.
Who's Indian in WWE? You got Gender.
Is Veer Mahan in them?
Oh yeah, Veer Mahan. That's right. His group in this year in this. I forgot their
Yeah, I
names.
don't know. I don't
Into
know.
something. I
Yeah,
remember that.
I don't want to say it and mess it up either. So y'all go look up Veer Mahan and it'll come up. But yeah, man, I would. Let's see. I mean, obviously they've done shows. Well, have they done shows in Japan? That would be pretty.
They've done. I don't think they've done a PLE from there.
That would be pretty cool.
I know they've done live events there for sure.
I know a couple years ago they did like Beast from the East. It was like an NXT thing, or it was like a live. It was something that they did on the network. I remember that. That would be pretty cool.
I think if I remember right, I think I remember hearing they did it was a live event they did over there. It was Triple H versus The Rock versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, something. So that would be pretty cool. Like Japan, India. Personally, I know this will probably never happen, but it's a little dream of mine. And like I said, I don't really know. They don't really have anybody on the roster that would have the same moment as like a Zelina or a Priest or Drew. But man, I would love for them to do a PLE in Jamaica. Like that's where my dad is from.
Okay.
I don't know, like.
What you mean? You got Kofi Kingston.
Look, I'm not about to play with you on our back. Okay, that's why.
Yeah, I say, he can bring it back.
No, he cannot.
SOS.
I mean, they can play that song. That would be great. Side note, I was so excited because he came out in what 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like what 14 years ago. Okay, guys, keep in mind, I was still relatively young and naive back then. I was so excited that there was going to be a Jamaican wrestler. I was like, yes, this is my guy. I love this song. Looking back, it's like, I can't believe I overlooked that this guy clearly was not Jamaican. Because if you know a real Jamaican in your life and the accent that he used, a real Jamaican, you need subtitles for. The fact that I could understand him clearly, I should have known.
He was American Jamaican.
I should have known, okay?
It was the American version of Jamaican.
My dad has been here for like 30 or 40 years, and he still sounds like. So I should have known better. But no, I mean, for me, like my little pipe dream would be, I don't know how wrestling is in Jamaica. I know my dad, he would watch wrestling with me when I was growing up, so I know he enjoyed it. And my grandfather's from Trinidad, so just any kind of PLE in like another Caribbean island would be cool. That would be nice.
Gotcha.
I don't think that's going to happen, but
have they done one in Mexico?
No, I don't think they've done a PLE in Mexico. I know they've done a lot of live events, but
right. I know they did like some in Mexico City, but I don't know if they actually did a PLE there. If they did one there, that would be crazy too, because Mexicans love their wrestling.
Yes, they do. Would that be your pick? Is like where you'd want to see?
Yeah, if they haven't done one, I don't remember one being there. So if they haven't, I think that would be crazy. And you just have you have obviously Rey Mysterio, Dominic. They love their lucha libre, so you gotta get Ricochet on that card.
Lord, let him be Prince Puma again.
Yeah, it was Prince Puma. You can get Dragon Lee on that card. Oh man, that would be crazy. Trying to think who else do they have up. Is Raquel Mexican?
I mean, she's from Texas, but I mean, I believe she has roots in Mexico.
So I mean, even that would be great for her. I mean, they got a couple of Mexican wrestlers. I mean, the whole LWO in general. You know, that could be
pretty cool.
That could be Santos's like title match or something when he goes against Roman for day 3000. You know, you just never know.
You're really holding on to that, aren't you?
Look, Roman Reigns is a great man. If Roman was from another country, we got to go there next.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What if they went to Samoa?
The island of relevancy?
Yes.
Oh man!
Let's think about that for a minute. Like, what if? I mean, I don't know if they have like a place to hold it, but like I said, I don't know too much about Samoa.
Bro, they can have it outside. What you mean? Like what?
Outside? Put
some chairs on outside. They good. They make their own ring.
I wonder if they have like a little. Hold on, I'm looking this up.
That would be amazing. You have the whole bloodline in the arena? Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
The whole crowd will just acknowledge him at once?
Sports venues in Samoa. Okay, let's see. They have Apea Park.
Shoot, that's where we should have Rock versus Roman if it ever happens. Right there.
Kidding me? The world would like
right there in their backyard. That would be amazing.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have a roof on it. It would be outdoors.
I bet. I know.
I mean, hey, let's put that out there. Can you imagine? That would be banana. Like,
I'm matching the island of relevancy. Oh man, that would be.
You would never like. We'd have to have a whole show about that.
We'll just call the show Bloodline. WWE Bloodline. Like, oh my god. Oh, I would love that so much. That would easily be the event of the decade. I mean, just easily. That might be any WrestleMania. Let's just be honest right there. The whole time they're just acknowledging Roman the entire time.
I mean, I would
during every match. In fact, before the match begins, before every match, the competitors must acknowledge Roman for the match to go on. That's what they should do.
We're not doing all that.
And then they ended with a ceremony acknowledging our tribal chief. Perfect. Book it, Trips. I'll text you later. I'll text you the details.
The sad thing is that I brought this upon myself.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my god. Trips, you got to make it happen now.
See, there we go. Making dreams come true.
Woo! I'm mad I didn't even think about that myself. I got to text Paul.
See, this is why we're back. We work so well together. Look at that. See?
There you go. Good tag
team.
Look at that. Good tag team. But yeah, I mean, it's just been... I'm just trying to think all the locations. Like Cardiff, you mentioned the match with Drew and Roman. Hell of a match. You know, we got to go to Germany too, because obviously our reign general.
Oh boy, yep.
You know, we got to mention him in his almost year reign as the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther.
Is he from Austria?
Austria, I believe that's his actual.
I think.
I'm pretty sure that's where they announced him from. And I think that's like his real thing.
Yeah, he's from Austria. Yeah.
So that's somewhere else we got to go too. I mean, ooh.
I know like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Gunther. That's it. That's all the people I know from Austria.
And then I tell you, if you remember, like I told you, just that name was awesome.
You did. Didn't you change your name on Facebook to Gunther?
At one point, I did.
Yes, you did.
I did. Gunther. Oh man.
Yeah, it also like it. I kind of forget sometimes that his name was Walter, so it's like okay. I'll give it to him. It worked out.
Like, why would you want to name just Walter? You know, no.
But that was the whole thing. Like he made the
Nah.
name Walter
No,
sound scary.
and that's you're right. You're right. He did a great, fantastic job with that name, but he's not Gunther. You know, like it just adds that extra. He's the ring general. Like you gotta add some fierceness to it. And now he's gonna become the longest reigning intercontinental champion. He's probably the number one heel on Monday Night Raw now. I mean, it's that whole thing is gonna be centered around him soon. I can't wait. By the way, for the upcoming match with him and Sasha, with him and Seth. I hope you don't face Gunther because I feel
Nah,
but with him and Seth, when that happens, if it happens at Mania, if it happens at SummerSlam, I don't care where it happens. But when it does, oh my God. That's going to be amazing. I
still want to see him and Brock tangle.
I do too. And I'm hoping that happens, maybe SummerSlam, Survivor Series, something like that. Even at Mania, I'll take it at Mania. If I got to wait for Gunther and Seth, later, that's fine. But those are definitely two matches I definitely want to see for those guys. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Indeed.
And, and just speaking about the future, let's step away from locations because we got to talk about the future. Our future, but we also got to talk about the future of the business. Do you not see the upcoming superstar that is upon us? And yes, I know we mentioned Dominic, but there's another man that we need to give his props to because he was not wrestling at the event yesterday at Night of Champions, but he was sitting in the crowd. Yeah, he was sitting in the crowd. L.A. Knight. Okay, that's another guy that we need to pay attention to because I don't know what the card is and who's going to be a part of the Money in the Bank match. But if there's one man that I would give it to, I know there's the rumors out there that he's probably one of the favorites. I hope that is true. But L.A. Knight, I want him in Money in the Bank, and I want him right now. He is my top 3 favorite to win it. I don't know how many people they're going to put in it, probably 8, but he's in my top 3. What you think?
I'm not gonna lie. Like,
he's
my. When I thought Money in the Bank, I was like, okay, LA Knight. Like, that was my. I don't know who's gonna win for the women, but I just figured LA Knight was gonna win for the men. And I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's all these years of being a wrestling fan. Something about just simple little catchphrases, like that. Yeah, I love it. I do. I'm not even.
Let me talk to you.
I love it. I do. It's like these wrestling fans, we love a good or a whoa or a what or
whoa.
We love that. So yeah, I mean, no pun intended with but I he's got it. Like he's very interesting just to listen to, and he's got something going. So I want to see what happens when they really just put everything behind him. Because I think at the press conference, like they were chanting his name. He wasn't even.
They were.
Here. Like that's
they definitely were. The fans love him. The problem is, I think he's better as a heel, but
it's hard to hate him.
It's hard to hate him. Exactly. It's like he's like a MJF type guy. Like MJF is a heel, but you want to love him at the same time. I love everything about MJF, who right now defending his title in a 4-way. But I love LA Knight. Yeah. I must randomly say for now on because of him. I mean, every time I hear someone just say the word in my mind, I say it right after. In fact, me and my boy Brandon, shout out to my boy Brandon, we always do that. If one of us says they say right after, LA Knight style. So gotta love that. Gotta love everything about LA Knight. His future is definitely promising. Who else? Let me ask you this: what star besides the names we mentioned do you see as another potential future? Because there's a report um, out there that they're trying to push now. They're really behind pushing young stars and trying just to build the roster in a way. Is there anyone in particular that you're hoping for?
Uh, I really haven't been watching too much of NXT. Don't don't tase me,
And it
guys.
doesn't have to be NXT either, by the way. It could
Yeah,
be.
I've heard good things. Like I've heard good things about Carmelo Hayes. I haven't really seen him much, but I've heard good things about him. Um,
He is
as
him.
yeah, yes, I've heard that. As far as people on the roster now, you know who I really like. I mean, I've always I've respected their athleticism, but really kind of opened my eyes to them on the main roster was Io Sky when she had that match at a Backlash with Bianca Belair. I was always
Fantastic.
just kind of wondering. It was like Damage Control. I mean, they've been kind of hit or miss with me, but I was wondering how her popularity from NXT would translate over to the main roster. And that was like one of the first times that I've saw since she's been on the main roster that she's got to flourish and be in a high pressure situation. And I thought she did really well. And the match was really good. I was really into it.
Really great match.
It
Really
really
great match.
was. So I was really impressed by her. Um, Gosh, man, so many other people. I'm trying to think. I mean, we've already gone over Dominic. He's been
Yeah.
doing a great job. Ooh, so again, I haven't watched NXT, but they just got called up, and even though I understand why they didn't put them with Seth Rollins, but I would have been on board immediately
Oh,
if
I know who
Pretty
you're going
Deadly.
with. Yes, pretty deadly.
Like,
Yes.
because I'm telling you right now, like, I would have been on board. Because first of all, Seth Rollins is a bad bitch. Like, he is that fashion, the baddest bitch I've seen. So I love Seth Rollins and the way he dresses.
Yeah, the
And
one
just,
the one he wore yesterday was it was weird, but I kind of liked it. The
I'm
big ass
telling
shoulder
you,
pads.
sometimes, like, I respect Seth Rollins 100% as an athlete, but I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time, I watch his matches just to see what he's gonna wear. Like, I was like, what foolishness is he gonna pull off this time? What he wore in Cardiff, that Elton John get up, child, it was crazy. But
Yes, yes.
yeah, I want to see more tag teams. Like, I want to see a Pretty Deadly. I want to see who else got called up. Yo, I need to see what they're gonna do with Butch. Are they gonna let my man go back to being Pete Dunne? He's still gonna be Butch. I don't care what his name is, but I need some. I need some more of him on my screen.
I want so with Butch, he's actually on my list too because with Butch, I see a turn. I see him turning heel and have him and Sheamus go at it. I think that would be like a dream match for me personally. Just looking at what the bangers that Sheamus has been putting on for the last couple of months now. I think him and Butch, whether he goes back to Pete, I was gonna say Pete Rose, if he goes back into Pete Dunne mode or not, that match would be amazing. I think he definitely has a future. We all know he's a Triple H guy as well, so that would be really great. I still can't wait for the turn of Montez Ford,
Mm-hmm.
his single run. I see that coming soon because as much as I love the Street Profits, I think they've done pretty much all they can do
Yeah,
as a tag team, unless they turn heel, because we haven't seen them as heels.
that would be interesting.
So if they do like a heel turn, then I'm fine with Street Profits continuing. I love them both. I think that they're both good, but Montez his star level is through the roof. I think he's definitely a future main eventer for sure. I could see him having a run like his wife is having. Shout out to Bianca. Talk about giving flowers. A year-long title reign. She unfortunately lost it to Asuka,
Boy, what a way that went.
and that was shocking to me. Even though I hate you, ESPN, for spoiling it for me. I understand now why they were giving off the reports because they have they have a partnership with UFC, and now since they're under the same brand, they're probably going to start releasing WWE information. So I now know to block ESPN during events that I can't watch live. So for those that don't know,
I had to unsubscribe from WWE text messages.
yeah, yeah. I remember you telling me that. I didn't get that text, thank God, but I knew who won because of ESPN. So ESPN's definitely spoiled like 6 of the matches yesterday. Besides the main event, I made sure to block them in time. But anyway, Montez Ford for sure is on my list. And then for the females, I love Io. I think the Io match with Bianca definitely put her on the map. The fans were definitely behind Io, and she definitely deserves it because she is a great superstar. But someone else that we haven't seen in a while, but I've always been a fan of her. She was released, but she came back, and she hasn't gotten the opportunity yet. I think it will happen soon, but I thought that she can be like the next, kind of like the next face of WWE because she always had the underdog story when she was in NXT. But I'm still in love with Tegan Nox.
I figured you'd say that.
I've always loved Tegan Nox. I think it's the same reason why I love Roxanne Perez. You know, because she has that underdog story too with her size and being small, but she has that never give up mentality. She has good matches. Tegan was the same way. And I hope Tegan gets an opportunity coming up. And she's always been a Triple H guy. I mean, she's torn her ACLs like 100 times, yet she still keeps coming back. And I think she gets better and better as she comes back. So once they can get the fans behind her, I mean, like she did in NXT, I mean, you got money right there. I mean, you got to build the future women's division because, you know, all the big names, you got Becky, I'm not saying Becky's old or anything, but, you know, Becky's been there for a while. She's going to need new competitors. Bianca's going to need new competitors because you already put them against each other 100 times, and they've been all great, but you got to find some new people. Bayley, you know, Bayley's got to find new people. We don't have Sasha there, unfortunately, which, and by the way, get well soon, Sasha. I know you broke your ankle, or Mercedes. I'm sorry, let me say her right name. Mercedes Moné broke her ankle during the open strong title match that she had that she was supposed to win. But let's see. Charlotte's maybe now turning into like a Roman where she's, you know, part-time in a way. You know, we just need new top names in the women's division. So we got to start building that right. I know Raquel's growing. So you just got to get that built up. But Tegan and Io will be two great names. So I'm glad you brought up Io for that.
I'm surprised we haven't brought up Solo.
Let me ask you about Solo, because I love Solo, obviously. And the thing about Solo is it depends on the bloodline, because the story of the bloodline is such a big part of professional wrestling, and especially the WWE, of course. The story of the bloodline, how it ends, or maybe not how it ends, because I don't know if you can ever end it, but I guess the finality of Roman Reigns' title run, I guess that's pretty much the bloodline story, is who really should beat him. And one thing we haven't mentioned really this whole show is Cody. We got to give major props to Cody as well. But the finality of Roman's title reign, obviously we're at 1,001 days. It's potentially going to go past Pedro Morales. I think he's at 1,127 days or something around there. Who do you think, Sasha, at this point right now, do you think should be the person to, I guess, officially end the bloodline story, or at least this first book or second book or whatever book we're at right now. Like, is it Solo? Because I predicted Solo. You know, talking to friends, I said it should be Solo becoming the next person. Like, it should be someone younger. So it should be a guy like Solo who can now become the next tribal chief.
So I don't think it should be Solo. I mean, I still think he has a great future because he's played such an important role and not even having to say anything. Just like his facial expressions, just in his stoicism, he's played a huge role. I don't think it's him. And I know that we talked like right after WrestleMania ended. We both weren't upset about how it ended, even though it looked fairly obvious. Like, oh, Cody's gonna win it. But when he lost, I was like, okay, I can accept that. I've thought about this. Just like I guess everybody who watches the Bloodline storyline. I was not mad when Drew didn't do it. I wasn't mad when Sammy didn't do it. I wasn't mad when Cody didn't do it because I felt like those were gonna just be moments. And I think again, this is the change in the regime. Sometimes I think it's good to give those moments. I honestly do. But sometimes I think for the good of the long-term story, you kind of can't give them what they want. I personally think it should be Jay. Because if you think about, and like I said, I've really thought about this because I thought we were going to talk about this. Maybe not this episode, but eventually. You know, I remember when the Usos first started, you know, it's always, I used to watch Total Divas with Mr. King, you know, now the world knows he watched it with me, but
Mr. King, I got you. I watched it too. Go ahead.
Yes, but it's like, you got to think, man, like Jay's whole, and I mean, like the casual fan might not see it. And again, this is just like the hardcore wrestling fan in me. It's like, he's always just kind of been in the back. Like, if you asked me who I knew more, Jimmy or Jay, I would say Jimmy because I got to see more of his personality. Jay was kind of always like hanging in the back a little bit. And even when he started becoming main event Jey Uso, he would say, you know, people would always ask, which one are you? Which, first of all, I think is bananas. You can clearly tell them apart, but that's neither here nor there. And to see all of the manipulation, like the gaslighting, because think about it. Why is he holding on to Roman so much? He can't be that oblivious to the fact that his cousin is he's an emotional manipulator. Like, he can't be. He's holding on to that family. We can all relate to that. Like, sometimes you have family members that are just really toxic in your life, but they're family. And that bond that holds you guys together, sometimes you kind of overlook anything that they're doing. And think about how much he's grown and how much he's played into how successful. I mean, Roman, yes, he's the face of this storyline. He's bloodline right there. But if you just look at it from the beginning till now, Jay has been the constant. You know, this whole bloodline thing doesn't start with just Roman saying, hey, acknowledge me. This started with him whooping Jay's ass and doing all these terrible things to him and then dragging Jimmy into it. You know, this really didn't get cooking until Jay got in there. And then with the Sammy thing, he didn't trust Sammy. And then when he brought Sammy in, he was so angry when like, Jay has been the linchpin of this whole story. And I get it. Cody finished the story. You know, I get it. But to me, it would be more satisfying to see that moment that Jay is like, okay, you can't do this to me anymore. It's kind of like leaving an abusive relationship.
Right.
Like, you're watching this abusive relationship. You're wondering why he's still holding on to this bond. And it's going to be so satisfying to see him say, okay, I can do better for myself. Because he's not the same person. that he was when this started.
No,
Jimmy
definitely
got
not.
hurt,
Yep.
and all you knew was Usos tag team wrestler.
Yep.
But I can see it. I can see him, even if he doesn't hold the title for very long. You can't tell me that you can't see Jay winning a world title more than you could have maybe 2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I don't really see that. Like, I don't really. But now it's like, look how much he's grown, and it's been there, but it's been a little quieter. It's been a little bit more. It's been chugging along. So I think it should be Jay. I think that for me, story wise, that would be much more satisfying than Cody. I think Cody should be champion, but I don't think he should be the one to beat Roman. I think if he was going to be the one to beat Roman, they would have done it at WrestleMania. I don't think he's the one to do it. I think it should be Jay because, like, damn it, why not? Like, so, what do you think?
Okay, so this is my thing. I agree with you. You actually, I at one point thought Jay should be the person, and I'm trying. You actually kind of changed my mind. Now I know it's not Solo. But this is the question. I'm gonna ask you a question then, as my response, because everything you just explained, perfect. I can't argue that. But if you do that, if Jay's the one that beats Roman for the titles, right? Then what do you do with Cody? Because Cody, obviously he's going to be the face of the faces, not the face of the company, but he's one of the, top face pretty much in the company right now. His whole thing is obviously finish the story, is becoming a champion. But does it hurt Cody if he doesn't beat Roman to become champion? It's like, for example, if Cody had won the World Heavyweight Championship yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and I get it, and I kind of understand it, and I honestly probably agree with them, that it wouldn't be, it would have felt less.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, he didn't beat Roman. So if Jay beats Roman, and let's say Cody beats Jay, then aren't you not kind of hurting Cody in a way?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It kind of hurts everything you did with Cody over the last 2 years since he's returned, really. I mean, if he's not the one. Now, what if now this is what I think, if anything, I think this can help both of our stories or both of our scenarios. Okay. What if it's Jay? So you saw what Jimmy did yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's Jay that costs Roman the championship? Like he turns on Roman and Cody wins the title.
But then would that take away from Cody's win?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so, because he still beats, because in a way it actually adds to the story, because if anything, Roman cheated to win the title to beat Cody. But now what if
how would they do that now? Because they're not even on the same brand.
So that's the thing. So they kind of messed up my scenario. So as much as I love Seth, I was hoping that AJ won, because I wanted AJ to win the title, have to go to Raw, and then because they're getting AJ, they would have to make a trade.
Yeah.
And what's equal to the champion? Well, more than likely, the only thing that's really equal to the champion would be the number one pick in the draft, or of that brand, I mean, Cody going over. That's what I thought would happen. Now, I don't think Cody's winning Money in the Bank.
No, I don't think he should.
And I don't think he should either. But I also don't think he's winning the Royal Rumble. I don't want him to win the Rumble, because if he wins the Rumble, I think that would just... I just don't want that. They got to figure out another way. I think that somehow a trade happens. Don't know how it happens. I don't even care how it happens. I don't know. I don't even care if it's Cody becoming a free agent and then signing to SmackDown or some whatever the hell. I don't even care. I just don't want him to win Money in the Bank because obviously the person that we want to win Money in the Bank, should be LA Knight. But if it's not, if it's not the Royal Rumble, if it's not Money in the Bank, I honestly have no idea how they do it unless there's some type of trade. Cody forces a trade, or
no, I don't think they should do it.
What if they do? All right, so you know how Triple H came and talked to Cody after, and they had that little discussion. What if Cody gets so frustrated that he quits WWE?
I don't think that would go with his character. I don't think.
You're not going to give me my match against Brock? Okay, well, I quit. And then he quits.
But I don't see, that doesn't seem like something he would do.
I know, but I don't know how else they could do it. I think somehow we're getting Roman versus Cody at Mania. I think we're going to get that. But I don't know how.
But do we really? I don't know. I think if they were going to do it, that would have been the time to do it. And I don't, because I feel like anything else, you're trying to shoehorn it and it won't be. I mean, that was the risk they took. If they didn't do it then, it probably won't have the shine that it would have been at that moment. But that's why I have to believe there has to be something more satisfying than that, even though that's hard to believe. And I think that I kind of think he came out better losing, honestly.
No, I think so too. I really believe they love history. Obviously, WWE loves history, and Cody Rhodes, his father, may rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes, had one of the greatest promos of all time. And what was that promo called?
Hard Times.
Hard Times. Cody is now going through his version of Hard Times.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Lesnar, that's a hard time.
It is definitely a hard time. He broke his arm. He completely destroyed it yesterday.
He passed out, right?
He passed out. So that, he didn't submit, so they kept him safe. They protected him, but he didn't give up. He just passed out. So it was his Stone Cold moment. So
I don't know. I feel like
they're building him up for something.
Yeah,
it has to be. It has to be for him to win it. He has the way they set him up. He has to be Roman, unless they're setting him up to be the greatest heel of all time.
I don't know.
That's the only other thing, because he's so crazy for the title of finishing the story. He doesn't get to finish it, so it turns him heel.
Okay, so look, in my story, I still think Jimmy's 1A, but I will give you Cody 1B. I don't think it'll be WrestleMania again. I think if they're gonna do it, let it be SummerSlam or something like that. Like, I don't want it at WrestleMania again.
So you're predicting? Are you officially predicting?
Look here. You know that I don't know if we're bringing it to this new show, but I don't.
I wasn't suggesting that. I was just asking a question. Are you predicting Cody versus Roman at SummerSlam?
I could see it happening. I wouldn't be shocked if it did. Like my non-committal answer, yeah. I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm gonna tell you. You know what I think is main eventing? What's gonna main event SummerSlam?
What?
It's gonna be Solo and Roman versus the Usos, but it's Jay who turns on Jimmy.
But how many more PLE endings are we gonna have with the bloodline unraveling?
It don't have to be the main event. It could, but that's I see.
But when was the last show that we had
that he did?
That Roman was on and he did main event. Okay.
Well, look, Jay. They built the story so much where it's the Usos against Jimmy. I mean, against Roman, which is we haven't seen that since in 4 years or 3 years. Since pretty much pandemic when he had the great Hell in a Cell match with Jimmy. It was actually a I Quit Hell in a Cell match, the first one ever. Okay. And you remember, it was Jimmy. It was Jay who said I quit to save Jimmy.
Yep. There he
I think
goes.
eventually we're gonna get Jay versus Jimmy in a match.
I don't think
I see it, and that's gonna be a pay-per-view match. I see that happening. He's gonna defend the honor of. That's why I think it happened at SummerSlam, and then following one of the pay-per-views after, because I don't know what, because that's in July, I think, right? No, that's in August. Is
yeah.
August 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Because
which is
Money in the
way
Bank is July
earlier.
1st.
Right. So it's earlier, way earlier than it normally is, because it's always on my birthday or around it.
Right, because
So
Money in the Bank is usually near my birthday, and they're doing it like the first day of July, which is really odd. But
yeah, it's so weird because all late August is always SummerSlam because I always get it for my birthday. It's always my birthday gift to myself. When I was younger, I always got SummerSlam. So it's so weird. They're throwing me off. I don't know what's coming up after August now. I don't even know.
I don't even
But
have anything announced though. Like,
yeah, they haven't announced anything. That's
which is
true.
odd. Yeah.
It's like they're trying to go out of country for everything, which is great. I mean, that speaks to our location topic.
Mhm.
But I digress. Anyway, I see them SummerSlam. That's the match, and then the following pay per view, I can see Jimmy versus Jay. I can even see like a long feud just between them while Roman's feuding with someone else at the same
Yeah.
time.
I need main event Jay and Roman. To me, that's the only one
It
that makes sense to me. I may, but and I don't want to like keep taking up too much of our time, but it's like, could it be that the way things are going with Cody? I know we just said if he had won, the title yesterday at Night of Champions, it kind of would have felt. It wouldn't have felt as special, but I mean, what if they decide to go there? Like, what if eventually he does win that title? With the reactions he's getting now, I mean, like I said, I know Seth Rollins is like 1C for me in beating Roman Reigns, but that's not gonna happen now because I don't need them unifying any of those shits anymore. But I mean, like I said, I feel like, and we agreed. I think Cody losing to Roman was the best thing. I feel like the crowd's behind him even more, even with, I know there's a lot of frustration about him losing, but I don't know. I feel like that loss made him better. And I think I understand people want him to beat Roman, but then, I mean, what if he does get the other title eventually? It won't mean as much as beating Roman, but I
it's
mean,
not finishing the story.
I know. Like I
That's
said,
the
I really
thing.
wish, I really, really wish they hadn't pushed that. Like, I get it that it was important in the story of Roman, but
I mean, it made Cody what he is, though. You
I
had to do
know.
that. You had to.
But I mean,
Look,
if he's not finishing the story now, he's kind of like
well,
veered off somewhere, and he's still,
it's a different chapter. That's why I said this is his version of Hard Times.
I still think it should be Jay.
And I'd like to say if that's what happens, I'll still be happy. It's to the point. This is what's so great, and this is why we're bringing the positivity back to professional wrestling because it doesn't matter right now whether it be Jay or whether it be Cody or whether it be Solo or even Seth freaking Rollins.
There's options
There is not only options, but we'll be happy with almost any one of them.
because
It could be L.A. Knight. Yeah, it could be any of them. And we'll be happy.
that was a problem we had a couple years ago. If we were in the same position a couple years ago, it's not that there wasn't the talent; it was just the development in the
Correct.
characters. And you have these characters that are, you have Jay, you have Cody, you have Seth. I mean, Solo's pretty new, but I think with a little bit more time, he'll get that, he'll
Yeah,
get that
Cody said he's
development
not
too.
ready. Cody said he's not ready, but what if he becomes ready soon?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he clearly has it. Like you said, you could tell even with him being completely stoic, he's interesting to watch.
So it
Like
could be
he's not.
Dominic Mysterio. I don't even care. I'd still be happy.
I mean, I don't see that, but
I don't
if
either.
he
I'm
ever
just saying.
does become champ, like if he does become the Raw champ, I wouldn't be mad at that because we'd have like a true blue heel as champion. That would be great.
It'd be amazing.
Because when was the last time we had like a true blue heel be champion? The Miz? Like,
Yeah. Or
I
be
mean, one
count.
that we didn't cheer, like an actual like.
Did we cheer? Did we cheer Bobby? Yeah, no, I think they did. They did
Because
cheer.
wasn't he champ on the Hurt Business? Were they just kind of cool? Like,
he became the he beat Miz in the pandemic.
yeah,
Miz
I don't
won.
think he was like true blue heel because Hurt Business is kind of cool. Like,
Okay, so
fly suits. So I don't know.
I mean the last one, shoot, yeah. I guess I mean if you don't count Roman, then yeah, I don't.
I mean, people boo him, but I mean,
They love
they
him at the
also
same time.
acknowledge
Yeah,
him. Like they will
yeah.
throw the one up. So that's not really.
I just threw my one up very quick.
Of course you did. Did you see that clip where Michael Cole threw up the one at the press conference?
Yes, I mean you better acknowledge him. Good job, Michael Cole. You know, speaking of flowers, we got to give flowers to Michael Cole too, just real quick before we get out of here. Michael Cole has been so underrated for so many years. You know, he used to be one of my favorites when he was in SmackDown, the old school SmackDown with him and Taz.
They were good together. They were.
Okay, he has been absolutely fantastic. And I don't know if it was him and McAfee that McAfee brought that passion. I know he said it too. He said it on the McAfee show that McAfee brought that passion back. But Triple H, I think, also brought some passion back into Michael Cole because he has been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Michael Cole. You know, I love that every time he sees Bayley, they continue that thing. Like I felt like Vince tried to tell him to stop it, or Tripp is saying, "Go ahead, bring it on, like do it." Like I love that interaction with him and Bayley. Like it's always awesome to do. But anyway, I just had to give him props to Michael Cole. He's been awesome.
Yep, and his beef with Dominic Mysterio.
And his beef, yes. And shout out to Corey Graves for loving Dominic Mysterio because speaking of someone who suffered hard times, okay, Dominic Mysterio.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, who had a great entrance at WrestleMania, by the way. That was a great entrance. We got to give props to him. We love Dominic. I can tell we love Dominic Mysterio. He's gonna be. Gosh. He might be the next, like my next favorite. You know, if Roman ever steps away, it might be Dom. Man, you gotta love Dom. Dom and his family. You know, you gotta love Dominic and his family.
They're gonna start marketing Dominic Mysterio shivs pretty soon since he did a hard time.
Hey, you know, Dom, Judgment Day, Dom, and the Fast Furious series, what do they have in connection with each other? They love their family. He loves his mommy. Dom loves his cars, his Lettys. So it's just I love it all. I love Dominic. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm about to leave you with that because, as you know, my streak continues. That I have not
seen any of their movies. That is almost as disrespectful as not loving the Bloodline, by the way.
I didn't say I didn't love the Bloodline.
I'm just saying it's almost as disrespectful. You never watched a Fast and Furious movie. That is crazy. I have not. That is absolutely blasphemous. But whatever. I'm just gonna let you, whatever. I don't even. Of course you are, because we're supposed to stay positive. We got to stay positive for the rest of the way. We're not trying to create sides, okay? Stop trying to divide us, Sasha. You're trying to divide us. We're trying to stay positive and bring us all together. I
thought that was positive, but okay.
No, that's one of the greatest action series movies of all time. That series, all 11 of them. Okay, we still got 2 more. Okay, so
wait, why?
What you mean? Why?
What else can you do? How many cars can you blow up and drive over stuff?
The Rock is coming back in the next one. Sorry, spoilers. Sorry.
Okay, wait. So, are we counting like the actual movies, or are we counting like the offshoots too?
They've only done one offshoot.
So wait, if I've seen the offshoot, will that count?
Yes, that counts. It's all Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
I did see Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, then you have seen a Fast and Furious movie.
No,
so that counts. There you go. So I forgive you.
Ugh.
Wait, why would you watch that but then not watch the other ones? That makes no sense.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and blame my husband for that one.
Okay,
I don't remember how that happened, but I remember.
Shout out to
seeing
Mr.
it with
King
him.
then. Shout out to him.
He's a
Talk about giving flowers. Let's give flowers to Mr. King right there.
He's a person. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Great job. Great job.
Let's go.
All right. Well, look, Sasha, is there any last words? Because we just finished episode 1 of our brand new podcast, our rebranded podcast, and went from the Daddy Fino show to now we're together under one, or it's our name. We're ring champs now. Is there any last words that you have?
I'm just happy to be back. I missed doing the show. I missed us just hanging out. I always felt like our shows were just like two buds just talking about wrestling. And I admit, like, I would listen to some of our shows back, and I missed it. And I'm happy to be back and, you know, going through some changes in life. So I definitely want to be like put more focus on this. And like I said, I just thank you for choosing me all those, you know, those months ago, and thank you for being open to us coming back. And I'm just happy. I want to see where we can take this. I still have dreams of us being in one of those scrums, hopefully one of the non-combative scrums, but you know.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that. We gonna have to save that for a different time. You gotta save that for a different one, because I got a lot to say. I know we didn't talk about AEW too much in this episode, guys. We're gonna talk about them in future episodes for sure. Don't get me wrong. I can't wait. But my last words, I just gotta say, guys, like I'm just happy to be podcasting again. I took a break from pretty much all my podcast stuff, so I'm doing a lot of different things now, and this is like one of my number one options to bring back, because I miss talking professional wrestling, but more importantly, I miss Sasha and talking wrestling with her. So this is going to be great. This is going to be just another fantastic run. I love the potential that we have going, the momentum we have going, and the potential that we have that I see coming from this. Like I said, this is going to be a show where we just gonna bring the positivity back to professional wrestling. I'm tired of seeing the negative comments and people just bashing a company just to bash them. Like, come on now. We got to be better than that for the business to grow. And I just want to say this last thing. I'm going to end it with this last thing, because I think Sasha, I don't know if she'll agree with this or not, but I will say I think personally that wrestling, because of the whole topic we had of location, I have a feeling that wrestling is actually more popular now than it was back then in like the Attitude Era. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's more popular. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if Sasha agrees with me. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but that's just what I'm throwing out there.
It's out there.
It's out there. Prove me wrong.
You decide, ladies and gentlemen.
You decide. You let me know. As always, guys, it's been a great run. We're going to be on our podcast is going to be streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and it's also going to be up there on YouTube. Just type in Ring Champs. It may actually be under Ring Champs JFS. All of our social media is going to be Ring Champs JFS. That stands for Ring Champs, just Fino, Sasha. So just look us up on there, and leave comments, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We can't wait to hear from you guys. Can't wait to do more episodes. Sasha, thank you so much for this reunion. And I can't wait to do many more episodes with you.
Same here. We're back, people. We're outside and we're back doing.
Welcome back.
Gotta put that on there.
gotta put the song "Welcome Back." Welcome
It's like what 30
back.
seconds you can do.
Welcome back. Yeah, I can do it. I'm gonna add it. All right, guys, we out of here. Love you. Peace.
Adios.